Hey! Conrad here, and what is the best Pokemon theme song? Now I know that your immediate answer would be, well, the original. The one that captivated the imaginations of millions of children and teens across the globe. The one that carried the iconic phrase, I want to be the very best, like no one ever was, but is it? I mean, there are 23 seasons of the Pokemon anime, each boasting a fresh new theme song to go along with it. I've been fascinated with these theme songs since I was a kid because they were what kept me coming back to Pokemon. I mean, sure, the games, the excitement of ripping open a new pack of cards, tuning into yet another episode where Ash defeats Team Rocket was great, but what kept the actual momentum of the franchise going in my head was the theme songs playing over and over again in there. Nowadays, it's more so the actual OST of the games and remixes and things like that, but for most of my life, the song I wanna be a hero was stuck in my head. So many bangers, so many lasting effects on the mentalities and outlooks of many, so many bits and pieces of the waning, fickle childhood wonder many of us are still scrambling to retain, but which is the best? Now, I have created here a pretty loose criteria of what most Pokemon songs are about. You know, what are they trying to do? How do they make you feel? Basically, what people like about Pokemon songs. The maximum amount of points a song can earn is 35, as there are 7 categories and each one holds 5 points. So in order to retain as much anticipation as I can, I will be starting at the most recent Pokemon theme song and make my way back in time to the oldest Pokemon theme song. Starting off, we have Pokemon Journeys. We're starting off pretty weak. It's not terrible. It's pretty pleasant and inoffensive. It's just a little empty. A sense of imperfection and adventure is something these new themes really lack. It's kind of like a computer made it to be an appealing song for kids about the sentiments of the show. That's why this song gets a 3 out of 5 for Does It Bang, because, you know, it's pleasant. You can get a little head nod going to it, you know. A 1 out of 5 for making you want to be in the show because it doesn't leave room for you. I gave it a 2 out of 5 for making you stay tuned because I found it easy to get distracted during this theme because it's kind of a little boring. I gave it a 2 out of 5 for inspiring because it wasn't very inspiring. A 2 out of 5 for sticking with you because it occasionally was stuck in my head while I was watching the season, but after, it was pretty much gonzo from there. So, a 5 out of 5 for the length because it's, you know, 30 seconds, fine length. I don't know, this one just stuck out as like the perfect length for the song. Not every song gets a 5 out of 5 for the length. I gave it a 3 out of 5 for friendship because it talks about friendship quite a bit, but it doesn't really drive anything home. It just talks about how you're with your friends. In total, Pokemon Journeys gets an 18 out of 35. Not terrible.
Rise if you're prepared for the challenge. Rise to the challenge. Rise if you're a champion at heart.
In my opinion, this one makes Pokemon Journeys look better. Pokemon Ultra Legends is one of my least favorite Pokemon themes. 1 out of 5 for banger. It doesn't make me want to be in the show. It barely makes me want to stay tuned for Pokemon. I gave it a good grade for inspiring though because the lyrics are largely about rising to a challenge, which is what Pokemon really is all about. I gave it a 0 out of 5, however, for sticking with you because the only thing I can remember from that song right now is good score for length because it's just, you know, 30 seconds. A 1 out of 5 for friendship because it barely talks about that at all. In total, Pokemon Ultra Legends gets a 12 out of 35. Pokemon Ultra Adventures is better than Legends, but not Journeys. It don't bang too hard, it don't make me want to be in the show. It kind of makes me want to stay tuned because it's a little bit cool. It's a 2 out of 5 on inspiring. It stuck with me pretty well, so it gets a 3 out of 5 there, 4 out of 5 for a 30-second length, and a 3 out of 5 for friendship because it does talk about that a lot. But again, it doesn't really drive much home. Ultra Adventures gets a 17 out of 35.
To this heat on my skin, I can feel every day I'm a little bit stronger.
Now this is one I actually kind of like. The Pokemon Sun and Moon one had me kind of, you know, not in my head. It gets a 4 out of 5 for making me want to be in the show because it talks about how great being in the show is. They're in the sun, they're having fun, they're getting stronger. 3 out of 5 for staying tuned because I can see why you might want to turn it off if there's other people around and that song is playing. 2 out of 5 for inspiring because it really just makes me want to go to the beach, which is something, but not much. 3 out of 5 for stick with you because while I was watching the season, which to be honest was pretty boring, it was playing in my head a lot. 4 out of 5 for a 30-second length, and a 2 for friendship because it doesn't necessarily specifically talk about friendship, but it uses the word we a lot. In total, this one gets a 19 out of 30.
I stand tall 'cause I know I'm a winner. Knock me down, I'll just get up again.
The XYZ theme is really good in my opinion. This one gets a perfect score in the bang category. It doesn't necessarily make you want to be in the show, but damn does it make you want to watch the show. It's a 4 out of 5 for inspiring because it does a great job making you feel like a badass. Also, this one stuck to me. While researching for this video, I was excited to hear it once I realized which one I was listening to. It's got that 30-second length, so that's a 4 out of 5. However, it doesn't really drive much home about friendship. It's more about Ash rising above his friends, but still that's a 2 out of 5. In total, the XYZ theme gets a 26 out of 35.
You're just a kid on a quest to be the best of the best. Someday you're destined for power and glory. You know you're up to the test. There's only one way to tell this story. Be a hero.
Alright, so coming off that good one, we've got one that's pretty okay, but not as good. This one bangs a 3. I thought its structure didn't have much momentum. This one makes you want to be in the show just a little bit more, like a 3 out of 5. 2 out of 5 for inspiring, because really all it said was to be a hero, which isn't exactly super motivational. It doesn't stick too well either, it's not a very catchy song. 4 out of 5 for 30-second length, and 1 out of 5 for friendship. This one was pretty weak. Be a hero gets an 18 out of 35.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my call.
This one I remember being cool when I first watched the season, but it sucks. It is the worst remake of the first one. It gets a 1 out of 5 for bang. The whole time listening to it, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with it. A 2 out of 5 for wanting to be in the show because, you know, I guess. It's a 3 out of 5 for stay tuned because it's familiar, but it's kind of lame. This one does not stick with you. It's just a remake. 1 out of 5 for length. It's not long enough. It didn't give itself enough time to bring back like anything from the first song. No sentiment or theme was driven home at all. There was no time. For friendship, it's a 2 out of 5 for not having enough time to talk about it. In total, the XY theme gets a 9 out of 35. It's a little harsh.
It's the next chapter, the ultimate goal. Ready for battle, brave and bold. I know we're gonna make it. We will find a way. Oh, we've come so far.
I like this one a good amount when I was younger. I'd say it's the second best in Unify. It gets a 3 out of 5 for bang, which is pretty good. A 1 out of 5 for wanting to be in the show because it doesn't really evoke much. A 3 out of 5 for staying tuned because it's pretty inoffensive. A 2 out of 5 for inspiring because it's trying to be inspiring and it's kind of working to a degree, but it lacks the soul that kind of makes you want to actually go do things. A 3 out of 5 for stick with you because I still sometimes think like, it's the next chapter, the ultimate goal, but I can't connect it to the rest of the song. 4 out of 5 for length because the length actually works in its favor. I could see it wearing out if given more time. And a 4 out of 5 for friendship. All the black and white songs are pretty high on friendship because it's the guy and the girl and they're talking about how great they are together. In total, Adventures in Unova gets a 20 out of 5. No, 20 out of 35.
A new adventure, another day. One more challenge that comes our way. It's up to me and you. We know what we've gotta do. We are together now, friends forever now.
Rival Destinies was one I remember liking as a kid, but one time pretty recently I listened to the extended version and it got really annoying. Hopefully that doesn't make me biased, even though this whole thing is just one big nostalgia trip, but I'll try my best. 3 out of 5 for bang because it bangs, but not a lot. 3 out of 5 for making me want to be in the show because as a kid, it did carry a lot of emotion that made me want to join them. For Stay Tuned, I gave it a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 for inspiring because it does go hard enough to get me on board with doing the thing. For Stick With You, I gave it a 3 out of 5 because It does get stuck in my head occasionally, but it is kind of annoying when that happens. Like, it's kind of an annoying song. It's kind of like a country song getting stuck in your head. 5 out of 5 for length because it works in its favor. Again, it could get annoying out being given more time. Also for friendship, a 5 out of 5 because it really does drive that theme home. In total, this theme gets a 25 out of 35. I did not expect that high.
It's always hard when the journey begins.
Hard to find your way, hard to make new friends.
But there's nothing you can't do.
'Cause you got the power inside of you. It's not always black and white.
The Pokemon Black and White theme song is good. It bangs a 4. It gets a 2 out of 5 for making you want to be in the show because it kind of highlights the negatives of being in the show. A 3 out of 5 for Stay Tuned because I can see some kids thinking it's kind of lame. For Stick With You, it gets a 4 out of 5 because that song got stuck in my head a lot when I was younger. It even got stuck in my head yesterday. For Length, I gave it a 3 out of 5. And for Friendship, it gets a 5 out of 5 because it gives some realistic insight on friendship. In total, the Pokemon Black and White theme song gets a 22 out of 35.
It's about you, it's about me, it's about hope, it's about dreams, it's about friends that work together.
Sinnoh League Victors was another one that I really liked as a kid, but it wasn't as good listening to it now. It gets a 2 out of 5 for Bang, a 2 out of 5 for making you want to be in the show because it is more applied to real life, a 3 out of 5 for Stay Tuned, a 5 out of 5 for Inspiring because it was very inspiring for me as a kid. For Stick With You, it's a 3 out of 5 because I thought that I remembered it, but I thought that Galactic Battles was Sinnoh League Victors, a 4 out of 5 for Length, and a 5 out of 5 for Friendship because friendship is all over this song. In total, Sinnoh League Victors gets a 24 out of 35.
Sometimes it's hard to know which way you're supposed to go. But deep inside, you know you're strong. If you follow your heart, you can't be wrong. Stand up.
Okay, Galactic Battles was one that I also really liked as a kid. It gets a 35, no. It gets a 4 out of 5 for Bang, a 3 out of 5 for wanting to be in the show because it does hammer in some good sentiments that are well applied to what is happening in the show, a 3 out of 5 for Stay Tuned, a 5 out of 5 for Inspiring because it does hammer in some good sentiments and it's super empowering, you know. Stick With You is a 4 because I would always get excited as a kid if I heard anything that sounded like... A 4 out of 5 for Length because the extended version is annoying, and a 4 out of 5 for Friendship because it is all about coming together as one. All in all, Galactic Battles gets a 27 out of 35.
On the road, far from home, but you don't have to feel alone. Brave and strong, together we will be. It's our destiny. We will be heroes.
I always thought Battle Dimension was really cool as a kid because the voice is so like quirky and indie and relatable. Now I think it's just a pretty competent theme song. A 3 out of 5 for Bang, a 4 out of 5 for being the show because I always wanted to be on a road far from home, a 4 out of 5 for Stay Tuned because it makes you understand the characters better, a 4 out of 5 for Inspiring because it always made me want to go on walks and ride bikes, 5 out of 5 for Stick With You because I can recite the whole thing, 4 out of 5 for Length, and 5 out of 5 for Friendship because it does drive home some good friendship talk. In total, Battle Dimension gets a 29 out of 35.
Pokemon. It's all about the challenges. It's a brand new game and a brand new world. New rivals as you fight for survival. Nothing can stop you. Diamond and Pearl. Pokemon. It's all about the battle. You gotta play smart.
The Diamond and Pearl theme is awesome. This song gets me hyped no matter what. It's a 5 out of 5 for Bang, a 5 out of 5 for being the show because it talks about all the ins and outs of being a trainer, what you gotta do, you know, you gotta play smart, you gotta play cool. A 5 out of 5 for Stay Tuned because it's so cool. A 5 out of 5 for Inspiring because, you know, it dials you in, you want to get stuff done. 3 out of 5 for Length because it should definitely be longer. I'm docking points because it should be longer. And a 3 out of 5 for Friendship because it is more about the individual. In total, the Diamond and Pearl theme song gets a 31 out of 35, the best we've seen yet. Time for Gen 3.
It's a battle, win or lose. It's the friends you make, it's the road you choose. You got the right stuff, so make your mind up. Find the courage inside of you. If you're strong, you'll survive and you'll keep your dream alive. It's the battle frontier.
Now, Now, the Gen 3 anime is probably my most watched as a kid. I had the first season on DVD, and I had Jirachi Wishmaker on DVD, so I was very familiar with Brock, Ash, May, and Max. Battle Frontier gets a 4 out of 5 for Bang, 4 out of 5 for being in the show because it really glamorizes battle, a 4 out of 5 for Stay Tuned because, you know, I thought this song was really cool, a 4 out of 5 for Inspiring because it does encourage kids to stay strong and survive and keep their dream alive, which is a very important message for kids, a 5 out of 5 for Stick With You because I still get this song stuck in my head all the time and I can recite the whole thing, a 4 out of 5 for Length, and a 3 out of 5 for Friendship. In total, Battle Frontier gets a 28 out of 35.
Oh, I'm unbeatable. Walking down this endless highway, with nothing but my friends beside me.
Advanced Battle is so good. What an iconic...
Oh, I'm unbeatable.
This song just makes me so happy in any situation. It gets a 5 out of 5 for Bang, a 4 out of 5 for being in the show because imagine how cool it would be to be a really good trainer, a 5 out of 5 for Stay Tuned because you bet my little butt was in that seat for this song, 5 out of 5 for Inspiring because it is super motivational, 5 out of 5 for Stick With You because, like you can probably guess with all Hoenn songs, it is stuck in my head all the time. Length is a 4 out of 5, and finally a 4 out of 5 for Friendship because, well, there is a few lines about it that are good. It's not quite enough for a full 5 out of 5 score on Friendship. In total, Advanced Battle gets a 32 out of 35. It's a damn near perfect theme song.
Every trainer has a choice to listen to that voice inside. I know the battle may be long, the winners may have come and gone, but I will carry on. Yeah, this dream will last forever. This dream will never die.
Advanced Challenge is also so good. It bangs a 5. It gets a 5 for being the show because it addresses every trainer, like every trainer has a choice, as if it is addressing you. 4 out of 5 for Stay Tuned, 5 out of 5 for Inspiring because it is about dream and attaining them. For Stick With You, it gets a 5 because I can recite the whole thing, 5 out of 5 for Length, and 3 out of 5 for Friendship. In total, Advanced Challenge gets a 32 out of 35. It is also a damn near perfect theme song.
Kid from Pallet Town with a brand new world to see. I don't know what's ahead, but it won't get the best of me. There's so much to learn and battles to be won. I've advanced so far and still there's always more to come. Take a step and I'm on my way. Gonna start all over again. I wanna be a hero.
Pokemon Advanced is where it all started for this guy. I started my Pokemon journey thinking that this was the Pokemon theme song. However, through the haze of nostalgia, I can still recognize that it is far from the best one. It bangs a 4. For being the show, I give it a 5 because it does make being literally any character in the show look really cool. 5 out of 5 for Stay Tuned because I would always sing along with it as a kid, and so, you know, obviously that makes you stay tuned. For Inspiring, it's a 5 out of 5 because, well, it is sung basically from the perspective of Ash. Ash is the window through which we see this world, so it's basically sung from the perspective of us, and it's super optimistic and inspires you, the viewer, to do great things. For Stick With You, it's a 5 because I could sing the whole thing right now. Length is a 4, and Friendship is a 3 out of 5 because it doesn't talk about friendship much, but it's so good it doesn't matter. In total, Pokemon Advanced gets a 31 out of 35.
No time to question my moves. I stick to the path that I choose. Me and my friends are gonna do it right. You'll never see us run away from a fight.
Master Quest is great. Despite being a Gen 2 song, it almost sounds like a Gen 3 song. Master Quest bangs a 4, a 3 out of 5 for being the show because it's more about you watching Ash beat things, not you beating things yourself. For Stay Tuned, it gets a 5 out of 5 because it makes you want to know what Ash is going to accomplish in this season. He's progressing a lot, and the song reflects that. For Inspiring, it's a 4 because it is pretty motivational. And for Stick With You, it gets a 3 out of 5 because I heard it a lot growing up, but I can't really piece together all the parts. You know, I can only remember little phrases and stuff from it. 5 out of 5 for Length because I think 45 seconds is perfect, and a 1 out of 5 for Friendship because the song really does single out you and Ash. It doesn't address much about friendship at all. So in total, Master Quest gets a 24 out of 35. I thought it would be higher, but you know, the friendship category kind of holds some of these back.
Pokemon, let's do it. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.
Johto League Champions. This one kind of sucks, not gonna lie. It is far from an improvement from the original song, but I do like that it is not just a remake like X and Y is. It has its own little tangent that it goes off on. I'm gonna speedrun this one. I'll just read it. It bangs a 2. 2 for wanting to be in the show. 3 for stay tuned. 2 for inspiring. 3 out of 5 for stick with you. 5 out of 5 for length. And a 2 out of 5 for friendship. In total, that's a 9/10 out of 5. Not nearly as bad as X and Y. It has a lot more heart than X and Y.
It's a whole new world we live in. Pokemon Johto. Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills. Everybody wants to get there faster. Make their way to the top of the hill. Each time you try, gonna get just a little bit better.
The Johto Journeys is awesome. I love this one as a kid. It bangs a 5. It makes you want to be in the show a 4. 5 out of 5 for stay tuned because it does foreshadow how the characters are going to progress. 5 out of 5 for inspiring, mostly because of the line,
Each time you try, gonna get just a little bit better.
that's a great line for kids to hear. Also, it sticks with you really well. 5 out of 5 there. Just try singing
Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills.
next to a 22-year-old and you guys are set for conversation for like a couple minutes tops. 3 out of 5 for length because there is a few too many do-do-do-do-do's. Also for friendship, it gets a 3 out of 5. Johto Journeys gets a 30 out of 35 in total. Only 2 more.
So you wanna be a master of Pokemon? Do you have the skills to be number 1? I wanna take the ultimate step, find the courage to be bold, to risk it all and not forget the lessons that I hold.
This one is the most unapologetically corny of them all. It's really 90s and I like it. This one bangs a 5 and it gets a 5 for making you want to be in the show as well. It brings in the viewer by posing a challenge. It works as a good advertisement for the games as well because it makes you want to get in on the action. For stay tuned, it's also a 5 for the Resones I stated earlier. It's also a 4 out of 5 for inspiring because it's a great challenge, you know, great sentiment, but I can see how it could be a little bit intimidating for some people, especially children, even though it is presented in a really fun way. For stick with you, this bop gets a 4 out of 5 because I can remember some little phrases and parts of the song, but I can never fully complete it in my cabeza. Length gets a 4 and friendship gets a 2 because again, it is more about the individual taking on a challenge than with their friends. In total, this gets a 29 out of 35. All right, here we are, the final one. And if you're still watching right now and you're new to the channel, you should probably subscribe. Okay, finally we can do Indigo League.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause.
This Pokemon theme song, no matter how many times I go back to it, no matter how many times I try to find a way to call it overrated, no matter how many times I try to knock this song, it is amazing. There is so much heart and so much soul that goes into the presentation and lyrics of this song, and I wholeheartedly believe that it is one of the biggest cultural and musical staples of the millennial generation. If you start singing this song in a densely 90s or 2000s kid room or hallway or park, there's like a 90% chance that will result in a thunderous choir of passionate 20-somethings erupting into song and forming a bond. No matter their gender, race, class, clique, anything that might get in their way socially, all of it dissolves when they join the haven of camaraderie that is this song. Cultural significance aside, it is just a banger of a theme. Literal perfect scores all around. I am not a Gen 1er. I started in Gen 4 when I was 4, and I definitely don't think Gen 1 has the best game. I just have a huge amount of respect for this song and the people who made it. In conclusion, I have stroked the egos of Gen 1ers, I have subverted no one's expectations, and I have wasted a lot of my time. And if you want to know the worst Pokemon theme song, it is XY, which is a remake of the first one, so talk about ironic. Anyways guys, subscribe if you're new, like the video, and stay tuned for the next one when the Emerald Nuzlocke returns. This was fun. I'll see you guys later.